Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Innal hamdalillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruh wa na'udhu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina man yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa man yudlil fala hadiya lahu wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan 'abduhu wa rasuluhu, amma ba'd. Inshallah, this will be a series of lectures on the creed of the A'immah of the Salaf, the Aqidah of A'immah of the Salaf, the great scholars, the great Imams of the Salaf. For those who want to listen to the original Urdu lectures, I will provide the link in the description so that they can go and listen to the original Urdu lecture, because this is a translation of the lecture given by Dr. Murtaza Baksh, hafidhahu. So this is an English translation of the series. In this series we will talk about the creed of the great Imams, and the benefit that we will get from this is that we will be able to see, and the people will be able to see, and we will be able to benefit from it, in the sense that the creed that we always present, the creed that we always bring forward, that this is our creed, this is our aqidah, it is not something that we say from our own selves. Because the people, they say that this is something that you have made it from your own. Rather, no, we will be able to tell them, and they will be able to see with knowledge that this is not something that we have created on our own. Rather, this was the creed of the great Imams, the great scholars that were before us. And we will start from Imaam Abu Hanifah rahmatullahi alae, and we will inshallah talk about some of the great scholars till Imam Ibn Baz rahmatullahi alaih. And we will see that from that time until today, the creed of all the Imams, of all the scholars, of all the fuqaha, of the muhaddithin who were upon the truth, their creed was the same. There was no difference in their creed. Imam Abu Hanifah rahmatullahi, who died in 150 Hijri, and Al-Shaykh Al-Allama Ibn Baz rahmatullahi, who died in 1420 Hijri. More than 1,000 years, 1,300 years of a difference, the creed was still the same. Allahu Akbar. And the need for this is also because the Ahnaf, the people who cling or who claim to be on the way of Imam Abu Hanifah rahmatullahi alayh, they did not do justice with Imam. Why? Because they left the creed of Imam Abu Hanifah rahmatullahi alayh, that inshallah we will see in this series of lecture. We will see that they left the creed of Imam Abu Hanifah rahimahullah, and they themselves say that we are Ash'ari and Maturidi in Aqidah, in Usul, but we are Hanafi in the fiqh. Allahu Akbar. So the thing is that they themselves are trying to say, or are trying to point out, that okay, we are ready to accept the fiqh, the jurisprudence of Imam Abu Hanifah rahmatullahi, but when it comes to accept the creed, the aqidah of Imam Abu Hanifah rahmatullahi, we are not able to accept it, showing by their action that there was something wrong with the creed of Imam Abu Hanifah rahimahullah, or maybe it is something that they do not want to accept it, either because of following their own desires or some other reasons. So let us, and the book from where we will talk about the creed of Imam Abu Hanifah rahmatullahi will be Fiqh al-Akbar, and this book itself is controversial, that whether this book is proven or not. Sheikh Muhammad bin Abdul Rahman al-Khumayyis hafidhahu, who has done PhD from King Saud University, wrote from the sanad of Hamad bin Abu Hanifah rahimahullah, who is the son of Hamad bin Abu Hanifah. He is a son of Imam Abu Hanifah rahmatullah alayh, and he is da'if. Hamad bin Abu Hanifah is da'if in hadith. But Sheikh Muhammad bin Abdul Rahman hafidhullah says, even though he is da'if in the narration, but this creed is acceptable due to two reasons. Number one, it is not hadith, and number two, a son is more nearer to the father and knows well about the creed of the father. And he says that the creed that is present in Fiqh al-Akbar will be weighed against Aqidah Tahawiyya, since that book is praiseworthy and acceptable. So the creed that is contradicting, meaning if there is anything in Fiqh al-Akbar that contradicts Aqidah Tahawiyya, then Aqidah Tahawiyya will be given precedence over Fiqh al-Akbar. Since Fiqh al-Akbar is controversial, but Aqidah Tahawiyya is not controversial. It is fiqh, it is trustworthy, and it is praiseworthy. So this first lecture will be a small biography of Imaam Abu Hanifah rahmatullahi, and what the ulama have said about him. His name is Abu Hanifah Nu'man bin Thabit ibn Zuta al-Khazzaz al-Kufi rahimahullah ta'ala. He was born in 80 Hijri, and the time of 80 Hijri was the time of Sigar Sahabiyin, the Sigar Sahaba, meaning the young companions of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was a trader in clothing, meaning he used to do business in clothing, in trading the clothes. Almost at the age of 20, he started learning knowledge from his teacher Hammad bin Sulaiman rahimahullah ta'ala. Fudail bin Iyad rahmatullah says about Imam Abu Hanifa, he says al-faqih, known widely with regards to his fiqh jurisprudence, famous for his warah, for his Allah fearing, a rich person, graceful person, patient upon seeking knowledge, mostly used to be quiet, he used to speak little, always he used to call towards the truth, stay away from the rulers and sitting with them. This is mentioned in Tarikh al-Baghdad, volume 15, page number 340. Imam Ibn Abdul Barr rahmatullah says in his book Al-Istighna that he was an imam in fiqh, a nice thinker, good at qiyas, at analogy. His way of deducing rulings was very nice, and he was talented, and his thinking was nice. He was always present-minded, he was wise, and he was sahibu warah, meaning he was Allah fearing. He was a person who used to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a muttaqi, a pious person. Imam Ibn Taymiyyah rahmatullah, Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah rahmatullah says in Minhaj al-Sunnah, volume 2, page number 572. Even though some people opposed him, but no person can stay away from benefiting from his fiqh and wisdom and knowledge. Imam Dhahabi rahmatullah says that he was an imam, sahib wara, a person who used to fear Allah, a scholar, a worshipper, a person of honor and dignity, and never accepted gift from the rulers. Tazkiratul Huffaz, volume number 1, page number 168. His knowledge became famous, and he was one of the 4 imams that were popularly known and still known today. And the 4 imams, they are not the only imams. Rather, there are many other imams and scholars and ulama. But the thing is that these 4 imams were the most famous, and still they are the most famous. His students, the students of Imam Abu Hanifah rahmatullahi alayh, they safeguarded the knowledge that they learned from him, and which was one of the reasons why he became famous. Now, some of the statements proving his wara, his fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imam Abu Hanifah rahmatullah says, إِذَا صَحَّ الْحَدِيث فَهُوَ مَذْهَبِي. If there is any authentic hadith, if it is found, فَهُوَ مَذْهَبِي, then that is my madhab, that is my way, that is my manhaj. Another statement that once that Imam Abu Hanifah rahmatullah used to note that Qadi Abu Yusuf rahimahullah ta'ala, who is one of the students of Imam Abu Hanifah rahmatullah alayh, he used to write down everything that he used to hear from Imam Abu Hanifah rahimahullah. So Imam Abu Hanifah rahmatullah alayh, he once said to him, why do you write everything that I say? Because today I say something and tomorrow I might change my view. And this is the way of the ulama, this is the way of the scholars. They become scholars by getting knowledge. Every day they increase their knowledge. Every day they are learning something new. And it is not the way of the Sufis, because our way is not the way of the Sufis. Like they say that our ulama are born scholars. The moment they are born from the womb of the mother, they are scholars at that very moment. So they do not need to learn knowledge. They do not need to get knowledge. Why? Because they are scholars from the moment they are born. But no, this is not our manhaj, this is not our aqidah. Our way is different from the way of the Sufiya. Because they say that the scholars are inborn scholars, but no. Our scholars, they learn. Every day they increase their knowledge. Every day they learn something new. They increase their piety, they increase their taqwa, and they increase their fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grants honor to some to a higher level and to some at a lower level. He does whatever He wills because He is subhanahu wa ta'ala. A third statement is that Imaam Abu Hanifah rahmatullah said, if any of my verdicts or my saying contradicts the authentic sunnah, then throw my statement or my verdict, my fatwa on the wall. Allahu Akbar. What great justice. Subhanallah. This is justice. This is what we call justice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is what we call justice by the great Imam Abu Hanifah rahmatullah. But look at the Ahnaf now. Look at the Hanafis now. We will bring tens of hadith to them. Tens of hadith. We will show them the hadith. But what will they do in the end? They will stay strong on the sayings of Imam Abu Hanifah rahmatullah. And they claim that we are the blind followers of Imam Abu Hanifah rahmatullah. Are you really? If you really are a blind follower, if you really are following Imam Abu Hanifah rahmatullah purely and entirely, then listen to this as wise. إِذَا صَحَّ الْحَدِيث فَهُوَ مَذْهَبِي. If any authentic hadith is proven, that is my madhab, that is my way. Do you really follow that? You are shown tens of hadith, different times. Still, what do? Do you accept it? Even though you do not say this by your tongue, that no, we are throwing the hadith on the wall, because you know this is kufr, this can lead to kufr. That is why you do not say that with your tongue, but they say that with their actions. How? They leave the hadith and they keep following Imam Abu Hanifah or their imams no matter what. Wallahi, it is our belief that if Imam Abu Hanifah rahmatullah was alive today and he got a hadith, he would follow that. He would not leave the hadith. Rather, he would act upon it. So this shows that you are not following the Imam, rather you are following your desires. Whatever agrees with your desires, you accept that and you follow that. And whatever disagrees with your desire, you leave the hadith, you leave the Quran, you leave the haqq, you leave the truth. Because the truth is only the Quran and the Sunnah with the understanding of the Salaf. So you leave that and you follow your desires. They have made Imam Abu Hanifah a disputed person. Subhanallah. Wallahi. And it is a shame that today we have to clarify the creed, the aqidah of Imam Abu Hanifah rahmatullah. We have to protect him. We have to defend him. Subhanallah. Another important point is that Imam Abu Hanifah rahmatullah is weak, is da'if with regards to hadith, with regards to the narration of the hadith. Meaning if in any hadith Imam Abu Hanifah rahmatullah is one of the narrators, that hadith is classified as da'if, as weak. In Irwa'ul Ghalil, Shaykh Albani rahmatullah says in volume number 2, page number 278, that Imam Daraqutni was not the only one to say that Imam Abu Hanifah rahmatullah is weak. Rather, there are other scholars as well. Imam Abdullah ibn Mubarak rahmatullah said, Kana Abu Hanifa miskina fil hadith. That Imam Abu Hanifah rahmatullah is miskeen in hadith. Imam Abi Hatim al-Razi rahmatullah, he said, Rabahu anhu ibn al-Mubarak thumma tarq bi akhirin sami'tu abi yaqulu lidhalik. That Abdullah ibn Mubarak rahmatullah used to take the hadith of Imam Abu Hanifah rahmatullah, but in the end he left it. This is something that I heard from my father. Imam Ibn Hanbal rahmatullah said, Hadithu Abu Hanifa dha'if. that a hadith of Abu Hanifah is da'if. Imam Muslim rahmatullah said that his hadiths are disrupted. Most of his hadiths are not sahih. Now how do the ulama, how do they say that someone is da'if? Or how did they say that Imam Abu Hanifah rahmatullah is da'if in hadith? They took the hadith of Imam Abu Hanifah and they also took the hadith of other narrators for the same hadith, and they saw that Imam Abu Hanifah rahmatullah contradicted 70 thiqat, trustworthy narrators, which is why he became da'if in hadith. But it does not mean that he is not pious. It does not mean that Imam Abu Hanifah rahmatullah is not Allah fearing, he is not muttaqi, he is not a pious person. No, because what are the quality of the thiqat? Who are the thiqat people? They have two qualities. Number one, al-adl, they are just, they are pious, they are muttaqi, they are the people who have the fear of Allah. And number two, their memory should be at the mountain's peak. So with regards to Abu Hanifah rahmatullah, his first condition is fulfilled. He was a muttaqi person, he was a just person, he was a God-fearing, he was a person who used to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But second condition, he did not fulfill it, because it is not in his hands. The memory, if a person has a good memory, if a person has a weak memory, this is not in our own hands. Rather, it is a gift of Allah, it is a blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If a person has a good memory, it is nothing but a blessing of Allah. Allahu Akbar. So it is not the fault of Imam Abu Hanifah rahmatullah, and we do not say that because of this reason Imam Abu Hanifah rahmatullah is not an imam anymore. Na'udhu billah min dhalik. No, rather we love him, we respect him, and we consider him as one of our imams, one of our scholars, from the scholars from whom we take the ilm, from whom we take the knowledge. Imam An-Nasa'i rahmatullah said, laysa bil qawi min hadith, that he is not strong in hadith. And after saying all this, Shaykh Al-Bani rahmatullah says in the same book, volume 2, page 289, he says, if Imam Abu Hanifah rahmatullah is weak in hadith, it does not mean he has no value in fiqh and knowledge. Rather, he has great value with regards to his fiqh, with regards to his jurisprudence and his knowledge, because it is possible that due to his great effort in fiqh, his memory became weak. Allahu Akbar. Look how Shaykh Al-Bani rahmatullah is trying to find an excuse for the great Imam Abu Hanifah rahimahullah ta'ala. And look at the Ahnaf. Look at what they do. Isn't there a great contradiction between what Imam Abu Hanifah rahmatullah have said, what Imam Abu Hanifah rahmatullah has advised, or what was his will, and look at what they are doing. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Imam Abu Hanifah rahmatullah, he died in 150 Hijri in Baghdad, and he lived almost 70 years, almost. Rahimu Allah. So this was just a small yet a brief introduction of Imam Abu Hanifah rahmatullah. What was his creed, what was his aqidah. And inshallah from the next lecture we will start talking about the creed, the aqidah of the great Imam, the great faqih, the great scholar, Imam Abu Hanifah rahmatullahi alayh. Subhanaka wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.